Greetings and highest respect. We begin this evening by acknowledging that the CSUMB campus sits on unceded Rumsen Ohlone land. My name is Dr. Umi Vaughn, and I'm the faculty director for the Center for Black Student Success. We welcome you to the first presentation for the fall 2021 semester. It's been a long road. I know a lot of us are going through tough times, but CBSS is here to support Black students, to grow a sense of belonging on our campus and make your time here as satisfying as possible. In order to do so, we offer opportunities for support to buy books and supplies. We offer opportunities to find mentorship with faculty and peer students. The mentorship program is called the Mandala Mentorship Program. We offer opportunities to learn how to conduct professional research under the direction of expert faculty members. In addition, we provide culturally relevant programming like this evening's offering. Tonight is this semester's first installment of the Catherine Dunham African Diaspora Art Series. We bring plastic artists, we bring poets, we bring musicians, like the great work that we have in store for you today as part of this series. Our hope is that going forward from this semester, we have a warmer, more connected relationship with all of the members of the CBSS family. So as we send out messages on our IG page, find us on IG. As we message you with the email address or phone number that you've provided, give us a holler back. Let us know that you hear us. When we send out calls about these different opportunities to help you with some money to pay you for your studies, holler back. The more that we are in contact with each other, the more that we are kind of in rhythm and in step, it's going to make the kind of Black vibe on our campus sweeter and more powerful. And that's what we need, okay? And tonight's presentation is going to blow you off your socks. You're going to have a chance to be wowed by musical talent. We're going to have a chance to learn about the real stories and adventures, the challenges and triumphs of a community member, somebody rooted in his hometown who's gone international. I'm talking about my brother, my friend, pianist, activist, hip hop artist, Bay Area hip hop icon, Mr. Kev Choice. Let's go.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Much love to everybody in the space. We're going to call in the ancestors of our amazing musical lineage, from jazz and blues and soul, R&B, hip hop. We're just going to pull it into the space and just go on this journey. We'll Try to ride with me, vibe with me, say hello in the chat, wherever you may be from, however you may be feeling. If you're feeling good, please let me know, because this is an interaction. This is an energy exchange, and I want to feel your energy as well. Just vibe out a little bit. I hope you enjoy this. Much love to the Monterey Bay crew, my people. It's a blessing to be here with you. We count blessings here. We count blessings every day. From Oakland, California. Bay Area, all around the world. Let me tell you a little something. I focus on the energy. I was taught morals. I ain't like them other dudes. I am not mortal. Always did my own thing. I was never normal. How she say she used to love me, now we barely cordial. I know I caused a lot of pain. I remain remorseful. Newest to the new edition. Belle Biv DeVoe. Truest to the truth spitting. Trying to reverse this karma. Characteristics of most men raised by their mama. Bear my soul still protected by the gold armor. Won't catch me counting sheep till I'm counting commas. I done been around a lot of greatness. I've been honored. From OGs in San Quentin to Barack Obama. I know my purpose deeper than radio plays, but got more heat than anything that radio plays. Some people may not even like the way I play, but you ain't John Gruden right here, you ain't calling no plays. I'm Steve Kerr with the clipboard, Lynch with the stiff arm, Kugler on the storyboard. Always visualize myself in the realm of the greats. Take constructive criticism, but smell when it's hate. I know there's nothing that can keep me from my fate. Godspeed, I'm just moving at my own pace. Focus on the journey, the result is destined. 2021, all we doing counting blessings, manifesting, learning lessons and progressing. Every direction I'm stepping, bring a conscious presence. Toasting life, celebrating for those in the essence. King Victor, I'ma shine for you, moon and crescent, like it's destined. While you so peacefully resting, spread your message. Use this music as a medicine. So many of us out here struggling through the pain. Your mother dancing at your memorial made me put a lot of things in perspective. Pure expression, strength through sorrow, something to marvel. Now I embrace every second like it's no tomorrow. Tell everybody close I love them cause I never know when my time to go. Yours is too soon. How many of our roses never get to fully bloom? We get brothers like you and Nipsey, mostly in the blue moon. Broke my heart. Irony, both passed away Sundays in March. A king and young ace. Know that God was saying something, none could take their place. But if the marathon continue, I'm gonna run the race. West Oakland to South Central, buying up estates. Knowing you waiting for me up at heaven gates. We gon' play some Coltrane, we just need a bass. Find Dewey, Jay and Alicia, you'll be straight. I'll be here counting more blessings than I could calculate. 1 for life, 2 for love, 3 for the grifts, I'm so grateful when they come. 4 for the season, 5 for the family, 6 for Oakland, cause it made me who I am. And 7 for opportunities, every place that I've been. 8 for good times and playing it never end. 9 for good health, yo, see I'm getting slim. Put up in a new whip, I could stop at 10, but blessings is infinite, divine, I witness it. Every morning I open my eyes, I feel limitless. Even all this bullshit I be dealing with. Still counting blessings cause I still exist. We count blessings today. One for life, two for love, three for the gifts. I'm so grateful when they come. Four for the season, five for the fam, six for the bay, cause it made me who I am. Seven for opportunities, every place that I've been. Eight for good times, and praying they never end. Nine for good health, part-time vegan, pulled up in a new whip. I could stop at 10, but blessings is infinite. Divine, I witness it. Every morning you open your eyes, feel limitless. Even all the BS we be dealing with. Still count blessings cause you still exist. Give thanks.
Yes, Lord. Up top respect. That was beautiful, Kev.
Thank
What's
you,
the name
thank
of
you.
that piece before moving? What's the name of that?
Hey, that song is called Counting Blessings. You know, I was speaking that in the song. Just it was actually dedicated to a brother that I lost, one of my former students who was actually killed when he was studying down in USC in Los Angeles, and I was feeling a lot of pain, but I was still like, you know what, we still got to count blessings because we got to live on in our people that we lose. We got to live on in their memory and keep pushing forward and count blessings. So that's what that's.
Sure.
And Nipsey Hussle too. It was just really like a month, a couple of weeks apart. It was like that same time. So
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
threw that in there as well,
Yeah. We'll return to that later in our conversation. This
for
idea that
sure.
loss is way too close to us sometimes, way too close.
Mm,
But for
yeah.
now, I want to ask you about your earliest musical experiences. For a lot of
Mm,
people, it's curious this connection between your verses and then these piano skills. So
mm.
take us back to your childhood and what was your introduction to music? Yeah.
Man, my introduction to music was my black mama, my black
Uh,
aunties,
yeah.
my family, you know, booming sound systems in East Oakland in the trunk. The church, I went to a big church in San Francisco, Third Baptist Church. So just
Mm,
being integrated by these sounds in my environment with no understanding of what how that was created, that was kind of my upbringing. It was just really just being a fan and loving, the music that was around me, whether, my mom playing records or talking about the latest show she was going to. Like my mom was young, so she would be going to concerts, coming home, playing the records, like, her and my aunties, they was just out vibing and enjoying, their early 20s and just bringing home all this great music at that time.
what
And
do you remember hearing?
whew, man, all the way back to, Prince, Michael Jackson, the Stevies, and then even like some of the early hip hop, like, the Sugar Hill Gang and the stuff that was like really just starting to pop with, Run DMC, like all of these. My mom was like kind of hip. She would like the things that was really being played
Yeah.
currently. And then at an early age, I had an uncle as well who just kind of was my first introduction to like hip hop. Like, listen to this, this Beastie Boys or this Big Daddy Kane or this Rakim
Right.
and this
Mm-hmm.
Too Short and all this. And I was like, whoa, like wow, like. But before that, like Prince was really my biggest musical experience. I wanted to be like Prince when I was like 7 years old.
Right.
you know,
Right.
seeing those movies, Purple Rain, Under the Cherry Moon, like I literally watched them every day. So I was like
Uh-huh.
influenced by his performance and his musicality,
Yeah.
and that kind of took me on a journey from there.
So, what about like school band or what about piano lessons? Like, how did
Yeah,
you actually start to put your hands on instruments?
yeah. I didn't really get to that till late. Like really it was middle school. We moved around a lot, and we kind of got stable. My seventh grade year, I was at Westlake Junior High School in Oakland, and I had a
Mm,
chance to take two electives, and I feel like I already had a love for piano, but I never knew like training. I never had a lesson, but I was like, I want to sign up for piano. And I was like, okay. And I jumped in that class. And from that very introduction, I kind of just dived right in, just like really just in that class every day. That was my favorite class, just listening, learning the scales, learning the notes. I was on it. And my teacher kind of recognized I had a talent. So seventh grade, I took a piano class, and that was my introduction to a formal training of music.
Yes. And so then I was talking to you earlier today, Kev, about our mutual friend, this cat Eric, right? And one thing
Mm-hmm.
I remember is running around with Eric, who was an MC, and
Mm-hmm.
anywhere a cipher started, he was ready to run
Mm-hmm.
the freestyle. And I remember seeing you in those kind of circles too, always
Right.
freestyling, always, doing this
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. So how did your love for actually being a wordsmith and writing and dropping verses, how did that part come
Well, it's really around that same time, I really like I said, my uncle who introduced me to hip hop, he would be writing little raps and I was kind of like trying to, be like him, and he showed me how to write bars. And I started like really writing poetry and kind of putting it into the bar form. And then at that junior high age, I was around a lot of cats who was like we was just be rapping, or we kind of saw like who was who, like, oh, you rap or you do music, and we kind of started hanging out with each other. My middle school was very talented, people like the Loonies, people like the Who Riders, like some of these Bay Area legends. um Went to that school, rapping Ron, um some of these
about?
G's. And
Oh
then
yeah,
by the time I got to high school, and it was like I called it hip hop high. It was like a cipher every day, after every class, after every
indeed.
period. You had the hieroglyphics, and then you had the people like E. Trevine, and me and him, being kindred spirits, and going after school, just going working on beats, freestyling, literally like just all across the city. We would just jump on the bus, freestyle, battle anybody. Like that was just the culture
Yeah,
at that time. It's like if you
yeah,
look like you rap, it was like, oh, you rap? Oh, okay, then.
you can get it.
Like we was like, So it was like automatic. Like that was just the culture. Like if you had on a backpack and like you had a little style, it was like you rap.
Yeah,
What? So it was kind
yeah,
of like
yeah.
it was like, but it was all fun and competitive for sure. And we just kind of would always just push each other with just music and raps. You know what I'm
You know how there exist these films like Wild Style about the
saying?
foundation of hip hop in New York, or stuff like that. The stories that you mentioned about the bus, coming home from Skyline, or the behind the bleachers and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
It feels like its own Bay Area, Oakland version of our own representation of hip hop culture, and
Definitely.
you're definitely a part of that, Kev. Um, Talk to us now about some of the kind of hip hop and other artists that inspired you or gave you particular kinds of opportunities along the way?
Well, I've been inspired by so many. I mean, even from those early days in high school, just being around hieroglyphics and all of those cats, I feel like that definitely pushed me to a higher tier of focus with MCing and seeing people in our school going off and getting deals and things like that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Then also you got to understand, after I left Skyline, I went to college down in New Orleans, and
Oh, where'd you
know,
go,
Xavier University,
boy?
Xavier
Mm-hmm.
University, HBC. And this is also, telling my age, like a time of the cash money, like first kind of coming out, and the No Limits and the bounce music. But there was
Mm-hmm.
also a very heavy underground rap scene, and it reminded me of home. It was like, if you rapped, you was getting put to the test. And me having those skills from junior high to high school, I was ready to battle any, so rapping on the underground in New Orleans was very influential. Then going to grad school in Southern Illinois University, where I was like meeting all the Chicago cats, and getting that influence of the soul of Chicago and the hip hop scene in Chicago. And then, coming home back to Oakland, and then going on tour with people like Michael Franti or the Coup and Zion I. And oh, there we got the picture with me and Miss Lauryn Hill. And and eventually, getting the opportunity to work with Lauryn Hill and Too Short, and just having incredible opportunities, learning from every artist that I was around, and also really just being in these amazing environments of high creativity, from Oakland, New Orleans to Illinois, and then back to the Bay Area. Mr. Fab,
So,
shout out.
yes, sir. I'm going to ask you some specific questions about some of those people who flashed across the screen. I
Mm-hmm.
saw one picture with Wynton Marsalis and
Mm.
yourself. What is the link between jazz and hip hop within your own practice?
Mm. Well, within my practice, the link between jazz and hip hop, hip hop really introduced me to jazz.
Mm,
Because as much as my mom was playing music, she wasn't really playing the Coltrane's and the Miles Davises. She was more,
Mhm.
the soul R&B, the funk type stuff. But
Yeah.
once I started, listening to hip hop and like a Tribe Called Quest and the Brand Nubians and De La Souls and and even us as young kids collecting vinyl, that
Yeah.
kind of introduced me to jazz, and then becoming a musician. I mean, studying the jazz lineage and the art of jazz and the discipline and the focus and the ancestry of it, how it's passed down, like getting deep into that, from going to New Orleans as well. Like it's to me the connection is music of the Black diaspora, it's music from our culture, it's music from the streets, it's music from our people, and it's the
Mhm.
music that tells our stories, and it and
Mhm.
helps us to express ourselves. And it's
Mhm.
it's high focus, and it's high focus and high art to me. Like there should be, jazz museums, hip hop museums. These are our great creators of our time. So to me, it's all connected. And if I always saw myself like if I wanted to be like the Duke Ellington of the day. Like if Duke Ellington was alive today, what would he be doing? Like he would have like a hip hop big band. You know what I'm saying? So to me, the connection is all intertwined. Just with the creative and the connection to our ancestors for sure.
Mhm. So thinking on that same question of like being a band leader within the
Mhm.
context of hip hop, what did you do with Lauryn Hill?
Wow, that's a vast question.
Mhm. Yes,
It was,
sir.
it was that opportunity was, brought to me as I had been working with some other musicians, and one of my kindred souls from Jamaica, introduced me to her, and she kind of just put me to the test, like, what can you do? And I kind of sat down, played, made a beat. She was like, okay, hit me later, like, yo, I want to come to your studio. I went to the studio. We ended up vibing. Then she was like, oh, I want you to start get a band together, and we're gonna rehearse tomorrow. So these all of these requests, somebody at that level, like they want stuff done quick, they want it done efficient, and they want to see who can, support their vision. Like somebody that much creativity, that much excellence in art. And to me, it was an honor to be that person that, yo, I want to put together a 10-piece band, rehearse for a week, and we got a show in New York next week, or learn these 100 Bob Marley songs, remix them, and then let's go on the road and flip them with my music. So it was a challenge and also a learning opportunity to be around somebody with who I just had, the utmost respect and admiration, one of the greatest artists of our time. So from, for like a whole year, I was like a band director, a band liaison, putting together these musicians from the Bay, and we traveled from, Hawaii to Brazil to Japan to Europe in this 1 year time. So
Yeah.
it was a crazy experience, but I feel like that
From
was
that
like
time,
I learned
so,
so much.
so Kev, from that time, tell us about like one particular musical moment that was off off the charts for you.
Whew. I mean, it was so many. Um, we actually recorded one song that I was a part of. It's called "Lose Myself," and if you can look that up, I wasn't credited on the song, and I never really tripped about it because to me it was about the experience. I've created the drum beats, did all the piano, but we were working on the song for like months. I had never heard the lyrics, and the day she walked in the studio, we were actually in Miami, which was crazy. She just walked in out the blue, and she like started singing the lyrics. And she started off, it's like I used to do it for the love a long time ago. Like when she started singing this song, talk about losing herself so she could love people more. Like it like brought a tear to my eye, just seeing how powerful her lyrics were, just how much of a talent and passion she brings to the music, and just many nights on stage. Just it was just we had so many incredible moments. But that was definitely one that stuck out. Me in the studio and seeing a song that we had been working on, and none of us knew where it was going. But then she came in, and it was just like, wow, this really makes sense. And she knows she's a visionary with the music.
Yes, sir. What was the role that you played working with Too Short?
Too Short, similar scenario. Just I've been fortunate for people to recognize my musical talents and be like, I need you to come play keys for me or help me put a band together. I feel like the first band I put together for Too Short was like a fashion show at Jeffrey's Inner Circle in
Yes,
Oakland, which is
sir.
really like kind of like really towned out spot in the town,
Sir.
where our folks go. It might be your auntie, it might be your cousin, your high school. Like a place where Black culture thrives over the generations. And
Yeah.
a little underspotted. He was like, he was like performing at a fashion show. I put together a band for that, and from that it led to just some studio relationships, more opportunities performing with a live band. One of those great moments. I feel like it was like his 20th anniversary of 24th 30th anniversary at the Fox theater, sold out Fox Theater in Oakland, and I performed with him. I think that was that picture that y'all showed with me and Mr. Fab. Like that was at the Fox, just kind of freestyling on stage with Short. He would always let me go off into a jazz solo on Freaky Tales, which was
Oh,
always really fun.
that's
Always fun
better.
to do that. He was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
just go off on the keys real quick." Yeah. So Short he's a musician. A lot of that early music he played, he created, and he always had like live instrumentation in his music. So later in his career, he was just trying to bring back that live band, and I was fortunate to be a part of some of those performances.
So, Kev, as you know, part of our audience tonight is students from California State University, Monterey Bay.
Yes,
And
yes.
so, like everybody,
Mm-hmm.
students are, encountering challenges, to their graduation or to figuring out,
Mm-hmm.
finances or figuring out relationships, all these kind of things. So I want to
Yes.
ask you about adversity in your musical path, right?
Mm.
What kind of adversity have you faced? And then how have you figured out a way to push through in order to attain your goals?
I mean, first, just even going back to college when I was a freshman, coming from Oakland, going to New Orleans in a new space, not having campus housing, living in, sleeping on couches, eating top ramen. And, really my first 2 years was really a struggle where I almost didn't make it through. But, finding a circle of support, whether that was on the faculty or friends who maintain their status as students at the school, and getting through that that rough period. That was, I mean, that was an initial challenge. And even just trying to figure out what would I be doing with a degree in piano performance. That was my degree is piano performance, which is mainly more a classical degree. But just really just trusting the vision and trusting the passion for the music. And then even coming home after having a master's degree and being like, okay, what am I going to do now, and performing it, little hole in the wall restaurants for $20 or $30 a night, trying to survive as a musician, and,
Yeah.
playing at the spoken word jams, and, trying to make my little demos, not having management, you know, trying to sell beats to people, and, people, slamming doors in my face. It's been a lot of adversity. I mean, even to this day, it's being an independent artist who combines elements of, hip hop and classical music and consciousness. It's not the most popular brand of music, but just, trying to stay true to my vision, and pushing through is a daily challenge. But, when you believe in yourself and the intention of what you're doing, then, you push through all obstacles, and that's kind of what's kept me going. But it's being fired from bands. I don't know how many bands I've been fired from, but
Oh
then I was
yeah.
like, you know what, I'm gonna start my own band, and and call my own shot. So it's been a lot of adversity every single way I turn, for sure.
Wonderful. So one of the things that I feel really good about when I see your work kind of out there in the world
Hmm.
is the role that you're playing in the community. I know about things that you've been doing with the Grammy Awards, and kind of
Hmm.
the inner workings of that. I know about some of the teaching that you've been doing at Oakland School of
Hmm.
the Arts. So just talk to us a little bit about music and kind of community engagement, Grammys, OSA, etc.
Hmm. Number one, at a growing up in Oakland, and realizing the importance of standing up for what you believe in and representing, your people, was always instilled in me.
Hmm.
And when I got home, I was, for a while, I was just really more focused on, let me go on this tour, let me make this music. But having mentors and community who are like, yo, you need to, come down to this workshop and work with these kids, or, what, or being around the city and seeing, meeting all these local politicians and being like, okay, well, if I can have a conversation with you, why can't I talk to you about things that are going on in my community that I feel like maybe we should have changed, or we could affect? Or even with the Grammys, like, I was really upset when Kendrick lost to to Macklemore that year. I was really upset. And I had a lot of folks. I knew some people that was in the organization. They was like, "Oh, you should join." And that moment, I was like, you know what? I could join. I could vote. I could recruit other members because it's a member driven organization. Once you get in, you vote for the Grammys. You can submit for the Grammys. So I wanted to be more represented as a hip hop artist in those conversations. And that went from me just being a member to being the vice president of the SF chapter, and just being a voice, being someone who could bring a perspective and from my community, from my artistry, and bringing having a seat at that table, and making that table. And even the same thing as a Oakland Cultural Affairs Commissioner, knowing that there's so many artists in our city who need support, organizations who need to support, like who makes these decisions about grants and funding. And I applied and I got that position. So just showing up where I see the need as a musician, as a Black man, even in the education space. We know how few Black male educators there are in any level.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was just like, you know what? I know that there's a value in what I have to bring. I know I had teachers that helped, change my world and change my path and guide my path. So it was instilled in me to give back in that perspective. And it also just honestly keeps me fresh and keeps me, going, being around the youth and engaging in education for sure.
Yeah, I want to amplify that word voice. For the students who are listening now, find your voice, cultivate it, direct it, inform it. So a lot of these stories that Kev Choice is sharing with us, are to all those points. Find your voice and then educate yourself so that you got something to say, and then find situations where you can.
Yeah, and find your voice and submit some questions. I see it coming across the.
Yes, Lord.
I don't know where the questions is at. I wish I could see the people. That's the tough thing. We'll see somebody wave some hands.
Yeah.
But But yeah. Any questions? I would love. Hi, you are cool and love. Hey, that's thank you very much. Thank you. I'm reading the question.
So
they're going to
right
come.
now, I know you did some work also with Oakland Symphony. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then we'll take a moment and actually see a bit of a performance with you.
Oakland Symphony. Wow. First is, I got to say rest in peace to Michael Morgan, the conductor of Oakland Symphony for the last 30 years, who actually came to my classroom when I was a high school student in orchestra at Skyline. And that was the first time I probably saw first time I saw a Black conductor. He was a trailblazer for classical music and also just implementing community values into the orchestra. And from that vision that he had heard about me as an artist and musician. We met, a brief conversation. He was just like, you want to do something with us. And I was like, sure. I was like, wow, being a classical musician, and, that led to me writing this piece called the Soul Restoration Suite. Was a 5-piece movement that we performed with the whole Oakland Orchestra. It was like 60 instruments and also a 20-voice choir from my school and my live band, combination of hip hop, classical. Some of that is available. But this clip we're about to show, actually, Michael Morgan curated a series during, during the pandemic with at San Francisco Symphony of a digital, composition that I wrote and performed with members of the SF Symphony. So Michael Morgan, he just gave me an opportunity as an artist from Oakland, and that led to the doors being open for me to work with Oakland and San Francisco Symphony, which is something I probably never could have imagined, for sure.
Yes, sir. Let's have a look.
I captivate them like Kaepernick with the Afro pick. Raise the black fist, activists, shut down establishments, catalyst. No category for this, no data recorded. Hip hop musician, rooted classical origins. Yo, I'm Chopin with the pen, full of emotion. Shine bright under the moonlight, the black Beethoven. Revolutionary music must be Oakland, the streets opus. This a movement, not a moment. Sonata Allegro, yo, I'm in rare form. Bravado is clever. Over 4-4 measure to measure phenomenal efforts. Encores, rounds of applause. Sidewalks to concert halls. Who can rock it this hard? I'm bridging the gap. It's bigger than rap. Liberation librettos. I free the people with these conscious concertos. I conduct like Harriet Tubman, Underground Railroad, or MTT with the baton and the score to settle. When Michael Morgan put you on, that's a whole nother level. I was put on this platform as a vessel for the rebels. Black lives matter, and that's just keeping it real.
You can take a little more of that, but that's nice. Okay.
Thank you.
That was pretty amazing. That was pretty amazing.
No, it was a great opportunity. I mean, yeah, it was an opportunity of a lifetime. I mean, San Francisco Symphony, one of the top. If you don't know about symphony orchestras, you know, if we talk about rankings or just, they're just one of the top in the world. So it was an incredible opportunity, and it was like a dream, like being in Davies Symphony Hall, and I, you know, I wrote all of that music for each instrument as well. So that was a daunting task, but it was, you know, it came out beautiful.
Yes. Kev, earlier you mentioned a friend from Jamaica who introduced you to Lauryn Hill. You mentioned touring to places like Brazil
Mm-hmm.
and so on. And I want to ask you about the African diaspora and kind of being a black man from Oakland and moving through all these kind of spaces. What are some of the kind of connections that you found? Some of the kind of questions that might have come up for you? Some of
Mm.
the, you know, some of the kind of experiences that you had in your movement around the world.
Man, you know, it's crazy, especially being from Oakland. You know, you realize just how unique our experiences is, even when you just go down south or
Yeah,
to the East Coast. So
yeah.
going across the waters for the first time, and you know, walking down the streets in Paris or London, or being in Copenhagen, and then, you know, interacting with, you know, brothers from, actually from the continent, from Africa, and having conversations and trying to break down some of these myths and stereotypes and some of these
Mm,
misunderstandings, because it, honestly, the first couple of times I went to Europe, it was I saw that, you know, I'm thinking I'm an African American. They're just looking at me like a straight American. Like it's there is some, you know, there's some cultural differences and misunderstandings because of media and things like that. So there was some, you know, confrontational moments, and then there was also some moments of just, you know, understanding and camaraderie, and seeing, you know, our similar struggles and also the differences of our struggles. Like you go to
yeah.
Italy, you know, Italy, and seeing how, you know, the African brothers have a certain place even in that society as the merchants on the street. Or you go to
Yes,
Germany, and
sir.
you know, it's kind of ill, and you realize, like, I'm an American out here, like they ain't looking at me like an African, they looking at me as an American. So
Mm-hmm,
that was tough to digest at first,
mm-hmm.
but, you know, and I had to embrace that, and then just also try to learn and try to just, you know, connect and communicate with brothers as much as I could. But that was definitely something that was a shock to me as well. Like, you know, when you go over there, you know, you're American for sure,
So, for
and it's a
example,
lot of privilege that comes with being. I had to understand my own privilege, even as being an African American in these
wow.
other places, because we getting looked at even differently by the Europeans themselves.
So, like again, since a lot of the students who are watching us right now, their opportunity to travel might be tomorrow, right?
Hmm.
Figuratively. Like,
Hmm.
could you take us even more specifically into one of these kind of teaching moments, whether it was the commonality kind of moment or one of the like, okay, privilege and distance moments as you moved?
Wow, it's deep, man, because it's, you know, some of the experiences weren't as positive I was like them to be,
So,
and, you know, a lot of times, you know, people look at, you know, the American, you know, privilege as somebody who's rich, somebody who, you know, gets access that others don't, um,
mhm.
or specifically even traveling during a time when there was tension or war with America. Like I remember crazy being in somewhere like Serbia, and trying to walk into a shop and getting in like cold shoulders. They're like, you American, like you ain't welcome here. Or a crazy experience too. Like I was in Jerusalem, no, Bethlehem, and trying to buy something on the street, and they were like, I don't even want your American money. Like damn near like cussed me out and ran me off. Like it was.
Wow.
And you just have to realize, what, it's not me that they're mad at. They're mad at the American government. They're mad at what America represents around the world. And honestly, that's just some things we have to accept. And still, there's so many amazing experiences that you have when you travel, and that sometimes is some of the things that come with it. You just got to be aware. Like I ain't gonna go too deep into a confrontation that I had in Brazil. Like brothers literally tried to get me.
Yes.
But I was in our culture, I was slipping at the moment, and maybe doing a little too much at that time. So just being mindful of your space, of your environment when you travel, and of your privilege as an American, and people are looking at you like, okay, this person got money, or this person has much more opportunity and access than I have, just because of that Americanism. But still a lot of beautiful experiences and opportunities to travel, and that's to me one of my favorite things to do.
Kev, have you already, or do you envision collaborating musically in, you know, Afro Brazilian or
Hmm.
Senegalese or whatever kind of other styles from around the world? What do you think about that?
For sure, for sure. Actually, recently I have a new trio project. It's kind of like a jazz trio project, and I collaborated with this musician from Africa who played the akora. I think it was from Gambia, and the brother's like a virtuoso kora player. And it's a song on my album, Tattoo. And I've also just collaborated with musicians from Asia during this whole situation of this black and Asian tension in America. I focused on trying to provide spaces of collaboration. Definitely have worked with musicians from Jamaica and Trinidad and some of the islands. Been to the Dominican as well. So
Mhm.
definitely always trying to reach out and expand my understanding, and also realize that sometimes my perspective as a African American musician who just studied jazz and hip hop, and so is limited, and trying to open up and expand in other ways.
Nice. Let's go ahead right now and show another clip from a music video. Let's
Hmm.
go with the next one up on deck.
For sure.
I think this is Truth and Roses.
Yes, Truth and Rose is like a mini movie that I did with collaboration with some directors in Oakland and a producer, DJ Basta, just trying to tell a story a little bit more with the visuals. Hey, Kev Choice. Sunrise up, sunshine come. Summer in February, kisses for my love. Yeah. When you be ready, when your time come. When you be ready, when your time comes. Hey, how high your standards though? Rappers talk, but ain't saying nothing tangible. I follow instincts like a wild animal. Trumpets blaring like Arturo Sandoval. Bars hard, shooting form like a cannonball. Flies being on this planet that I landed on. Anything possible, that's my approach. Pfizer, I provide you the antidote. I got the six flow. Mistletoe, kiss of death, lyrical. Intervals, taking steps to the pinnacle. Kicking those, Kev Choice, H2O froze. They all those until the sun rolls. Raps is grimy, drums is dirty, air in 2040. So much heat they try to ignore me like global warming. Toxic water underneath our schools, poison in our food, it's so alarming. Make me wanna start an army, take over political parties, yo, we not conforming. Dark clouds hovering, acid rain storming. Australia to Brazil, forest burning. Glaciers melting at the top of the earth. This is a warning, need to listen to the natives. Treat the planet as sacred. Species getting wiped out from deforestation. Colonization, occupy nations. No respect for the land and the seeds of creation. I could have been an environmental scientist, but I'm a hip-hop scholar, educator, activist. Can't be passive, I'm attacking this. Linebacker blitz, too much risk, what's at stake? We can cease to exist. What's the plan? I recycle when I can, like a can, never styles. I'm the man, bless the land. Solutions, corporations, pay retribution. Rappers, what you doing with this music? With one verse, I say to earth, Love at first, energetic.
Okay. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
Let's go, while we're at it, let's look at one more. Speaking of the Bay, speaking of well-known Bay Area artists, there's another clip with Mr. Fab. Let's have a look at that.
For sure. Yeah. Can I give a little backstory to it?
For sure. Go for it.
I feel like, so I did this album, during the first 6 weeks of quarantine. I feel like the first shelter in place order in the Bay Area was like March 15th or something. And I pretty much took all my music equipment and brought it to my house, put it in the living room, and just started kind of working on music, trying to express how I was feeling during that time. And, in the 6-week process, I created this whole album with collaboration with different artists, musicians. And this song actually came from some of those sessions where we kind of just like sending files through the mail, like, yo, jump on this. Everybody was at home. So I was like hitting up some folks, and, Fab jumped on this, some cats from the Bay, Kevin Allen, Manny Draper, Brookfield Deuce. And yeah, this song Silver Lining. So it's really, and you also can kind of see the environment of Oakland during that time with empty streets and things like that. So
word. Okay, let's check out the next clip.
I just wanna get back to normal, bending corners like I used to do. After work, hit uptown and have a sip or two. Tip the bartender a few, I know they need it now. Mostly been alone, probably cause I was a sheltered child. Can't imagine mama telling me I couldn't leave the house. Every time she fell asleep, I probably would be sneaking out. Gotta sit up in front of computers just to teach them now. What if they ain't got access? We just gonna leave them out? We gon' have to go another route. 2020 still gon' be the year we do all the things we dreamed about. Put this music out, they push back my album release. Lock me down, I'll drop a project a week. I never cease, Plus I keep my ear to the streets. People looking at this Rona like a mark of the beast. I've been staying in the kitchen trying to cook up a feast. Even calling people normally, we hardly will speak, I guess this God's way of telling us to take it slow. The Bay was the first in the country they told to stay at home in place. All I need is food, music, shelter, and a wifey that'll get sick with me like Idris Elba's. Missing both my seeds, although they in good places. Thanking both their mothers for stable situations. My son, mama, doctor, she said sit still and be patient. People don't know they're contagious, that's why this shit dangerous. So every breath I'm taking, I'm thanking Jehovah, Allah, Buddha, whoever you put faith in. Keep praying, meditating, praises to the highest, and remember behind every gray cloud's a silver lining. Come on.
My brother called my phone and said he can't go to canteen. I said we all sellies now, we stuck on quarantine. He laughed, I sent some cash through the cash app. Strip clubs closed, I know the strippers asking where the cash at. Lost a couple dollars on the NASDAQ, but when it's all over, we gon' get past that. The science is we tryna find where the math at. Never went to math class back, but this new math my daughter got me doing, I'm wishing I could have my math class back. But the amazing part of all of it, the personal time that my daughter get. No interruptions, no one can bother it. I'm finally feeling like I'm fathering. Didn't read a book all year, last year. Read 2 books this week, I'm past here. The chapter, top tier. Instead of dropping tears, let's stop and cheer. Don't let a virus stop your year. Utilize this time to get better. Work on things you put outside like the weather. Read some recipes to get your cook on right. Come up with some things that'll put your hood on right. Practice, even though it may never come out perfect. It's you time, in due time, it'll all be worth it. Let's just look at it like God got us on punishment, so we could be amazing and do some stunning
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures. Dodging police and the debt collectors. Extra, tweet all about it, need some extra effort. You gotta think of numbers, gotta check the records. If I'm lying, I'm flying like the pet detective. King, you been lying, gotta make sure your neck protected. Kiss your babies, call your mama, don't be that invested. In the drama, be intentional, be very present. Hear no evil, see no evil on my Helen Keller. You know them government folk ruthless like Jerry Heller. Shit been crazy forever, I ain't came for no lecture. Sidestep the oppressor, way too high up to measure. Pressure bust pipes are made diamonds. Stevie Wonder.
Yeah, that shit is lit. So, Kev,
Thank
I want to ask you about what you think about the role of artists, the role of musicians in activism, in struggle, etc. Like these times since the George Floyd, spring and summer have been really crucial, have been historic, have been like taking it back to like, what our parents experienced in the 60s of like what we do now, what the artists say, what protests we present are like marking the history of the nation. So what do you think about the role of, musicians, your own role in activism and kind of trying to make a new way in our country?
Man, that's a question. That's a deep question that we get artists get asked a lot. And me personally, I definitely feel like it is the artist's duty to speak on the issues that are currently affecting the people, especially the people who are being oppressed, especially the people who are often voiceless, especially the people who are often, not giving attention, not giving opportunity. And if we have a platform as an artist, any platform, and I feel it's necessary, it's crucial for us to use that platform to push these issues to the forefront, to give light to these issues. And whether that be police brutality, George Floyd, whether that be get out and vote, whether that be more educate, more housing for the unhoused,
Yeah.
whatever the issue may be, even the violence in our own community, speaking to that, even how we're feeling about what's going on with the pandemic. I definitely feel like it's the artist's duty, for me personally, to use the platform to uplift and to bring to light these issues. And I made it a point for me as an artist to make sure I use my platform for that, in that way. And maybe every artist that's not their goal, and that's not their duty, and it's not genuine to them, and that's cool. But for us who know that as a purpose, and who that's been instilled in, I definitely feel like it's worth us to use our platform to speak up for these issues. And anybody with a platform, I don't care if you're a TV anchor or a athlete, if you have a platform, that's an opportunity
Yes.
to speak up for something. And if I'm just somebody who's working 9 to 5, surviving, and no one is giving that platform to, then I would hope that somebody would speak for me, and that would even inspire me to speak out myself.
Yeah.
If I'm an artist and I speak out, and then there's like 100 people who are like, you know what, I believe what he's saying, so I'm gonna come down to this rally too, and I'm gonna speak out as well. So that's how we start a movement, and that's what they were doing in the 60s and the 70s, and they were starting movements that were driven by the music. So it goes back to the Panthers. I studied the music of the Black Panther band, the Lumpetarian, and they would play songs at the rallies and get the people hyped. And then here we come with Huey and Bobby Seale. So music has always been intertwined in the movement.
And they'll be riding on the bus singing the thing, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So where is music not present? And if music is a way to bring people together, also inspire people through these trials and tribulations, because if any people are going through these struggles, they need inspiration, they need hope, and music is a way to do that as well. It's a way to bring people together and give inspiration.
So let's do this, Kev. There's a question from the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring that question up and have you respond to that, and then let's have you bless us with the next musical offering once the question is answered.
Cool. What country that you have been to that would you recommend to visit? Wow, there's so many beautiful countries in the world. I feel like the country that impacted me the most, maybe that's how I could flip that question, because I feel like everywhere is a learning opportunity,
Hmm.
as an experience. But when I went to Palestine, I was impacted the most because it was such a drastic difference from what I expected, and the warmness of the people, the culture, the history of, the religious history, the sacredness of every street and every temple and every hearing the music, the prayers every day. The food, I mean, the food was just incredible. So I know a lot of people like, Palestine, or that's, I don't want to go there, but no, it's in a right situation. I feel like I was blessed by that opportunity the most. And of course, there's, going to Brazil was incredible. I love Paris. I love Amsterdam. That's also one of my favorite cities. Even, Stockholm, Sweden. It's just so many great. There's so many great experiences anywhere you can
Yeah.
go. I want to get to. I still haven't got to like Ghana or South Africa, and I'm itching to get to those spaces. But Palestine was amazing. I mean, Australia was amazing. Paris, I love it. I just walked around for hours and hours and hours and days and enjoying the beauty. So anywhere you can go is a great opportunity. But those are some of my favorites.
Yes, sir. So, man, having this conversation has been wonderful. On one hand, to kind of just give students at CSU, Monterey Bay, the people from the Center for Black Student Success family access to all these experiences that you're sharing. And then for me personally, as a connection from way back when, to just get to know you a little bit better. I appreciate you. Give thanks.
Yeah.
I want to bring you back on onto the mic to share with us again musically, and you can stretch out a little bit more this time. Come now,
Mm,
let's go.
Stretch out a little more, huh?
Yeah,
Does that mean I could like do a medley or something?
it definitely does.
Huh. Put a little vibe to it. Just thankful to be here with y'all. Yeah. Let's go. It's Kev Choice. Thankful for it all. Tell you a little something. Hey, I never took a minute off, not in my memory. I was born to be a boss, that's how it's meant to be. Glad I had a better option than judge trying to sentence me. Somebody trying to shoot at me. Thank God for this music, yeah. Especially living in my community where options seem like 2 or 3. Sell dope, play ball, or get a 9 to 5. Still struggle to survive. How I make it out alive. Thank God for this music, yeah. Even though they told me I would never make it. You're too complex for the mainstream, keep it basic. Couldn't be based on talent. I run circles around these dudes like car races. Thank God for heart and patience. Even though the success I tasted never made me complacent. Still remember that first Casio Big Tony got me for Christmas and told me to take it. Go make it, thank God for his graces. As I speak these bars, no pages in the studio, 3 blocks from where Oscar Grant met's face kiss. His family told me my gift will uplift and put smiles on their faces. Thank God for the gracious.
I learned the definition of courageous is taking life struggles and embracing. Success come in stages. The greatest had trials and tribulations. I've been awakened. Thank God for positive vibrations, yeah. I'm thankful for it all. Thankful for it all. Thankful for it all. Yo, I never took the easy route. Been around the game a while. Noticed when the smoke cleared how some people got weeded out. Had to learn the difference between friends and associates. Folks use you for your talents when it's for their benefit. Thank God for forgiveness. Thank God for the vision. To see disappointment as opportunity, cousin, even family became distant. No judgment, still love them. I rise, we rise, that's a promise. Thank God for a clear mind. Thank God for a good heart. Even on my worst days, sometimes I want to run away. I lose my mom and my girl 3 months apart. Only two that held me down, they died. I felt like I was lost. Why God, it wasn't fair. But thank God for Anya. Thank God for Lil Kev. Knowing I had purpose, knowing I wasn't perfect, knowing I had a mission on this earth to fulfill, I stayed working. Really to avoid addressing hurt, staying in the public eye, but really an introvert. Thank God for this gift, took me all over this earth. Coming from a city where plenty don't make it off their turf. Tables turned for me when I learned the science of the mind. Thank God it was revealed to me at the right and exact time. I've been searching for a sign from the divine. All I had to do was look inside. Thank God for life. I'm thankful for it all. Horizons, heaven's waiting for every moment. I'm thankful for it all. For every storming, when tears was falling. No one knows me like you. You brought me through it all. I'm thankful for it all. I'm thankful for it all. Give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks, give thanks. Orchestrated, Kev. Vibe it out. I hope y'all having a good time, because I'm vibing. You gotta live your life. Every day, every day, every day, let me tell you, y'all. This the type of music in my mind when I first wake up. Keep the styles original, you ain't gonna mistake us. We about to run the game, the kicks already laced up. That's about as good as when Curry put a tray up, or better yet a layup. We about to bring the bay up, always represented from day one. Overcoming struggle, constant hustle in my nature, knowing to hold them and fold them. Go with the flow like a sailor, flow as cold as a glacier. Deep as the crater, I'm just speaking my mind and my brain is infinite layers. Music take you to places, make your crib feel like a resort. Front porch at airport, let's take off. To a struggle non-existent, pain just a figment of your imagination. Sunshine glistening, blue sky vivid, life no limit. We going on vacation, come on. And you ain't even gotta go far. Hey, and you can live it right where you are. Come on, come on. Everybody living like stars. Come on. We about that life, life, life. Let me break it down. Show off. And you ain't even gotta go far. And you can live it right where you are, right where you are. Everybody living like stars, come on, come on. We about that life.
Thank you, Kev, so much. That was a beautiful piece. What was that one called?
That song was called That Life. It's off an album that I did a couple years back called Oakland Riviera. So that's like a little plug. Oakland Riviera. That was really inspired by me being in the French Riviera and then going back home and be like, wow, Oakland is beautiful. We got hills and waters. It reminded me like there's certain neighborhoods where I grew up kind of by the lake. It's like Oakland Riviera. So,
So,
being influenced by where we go and where we from for sure.
yes. So I want to thank you, Kev, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
talents, sharing these stories with the community here at the California State University Monterey Bay, and particularly with the Center for Black Student Success Family.
Yes,
At this point,
success.
yes, sir, I want to give you the opportunity, on one hand, to share any new projects or upcoming, releases or events that we should know about, and then
Mhm.
any blessing or a good word that you want to put on our center and on our community. How about that?
Oh, thank you, thank you. First, just giving thanks to you, brother Vine. Uh, we call him I don't know what y'all call him.
Yes,
Vine. Just
sir.
appreciate, it's good to see brothers like you, doing such amazing work, coming from where we come from and being in this space. So just giving thanks for everybody who helped put this together and everybody here. Things that I have coming up. Actually, that video that we saw that I did with the SF Symphony, that is going to finally be released on all digital platforms September 24th. So you can kind of go download it, Spotify, Tidal, or Apple, wherever you listen to music. If you're in the Bay Area, I have a big show October 1st at a space called Yoshi's in Oakland Jazz Club with my full ensemble. Um, Also September, I want to say 19th, I'll be performing at this event in Golden Gate Park called Flower Piano. It's basically they kind of decorate pianos around Golden Gate Park in the botanical gardens, like in an outside space. So I'll be doing that. But just follow the at Kev Choice wherever you find is best suitable for you. IG, the website as well to get all the information. I would love to see any of the Monterey Bay family,
Mhm.
at a show or in person for sure.
Yes, yes.
And the words for success, me being a black, educator, a black musician, a black artist, success to me is just not giving up on your dreams, on your vision, knowing that there's going to be adversity, knowing that there's going to be obstacles, and going back to our traditions, our faith, having faith and what you're doing and who you are as a human being. I'm also a very spiritual person, so I believe like we have to tap into whatever spiritual connection you may have, and that doesn't have to be religious, but just having some type of spiritual connection that is part of our ancestry. And our ancestors still speak to us and through us, whatever you're doing, and remembering that, when you remember that power and that divine connection that we all have, I mean, I feel like there's any that you can get through anything in life. And also education to me is just a crucial part of our community success, being able to be scholars. I always say when people have that conversation, should you go to college? Like, yeah, you should go to college. It's a community, it's a connection, it's an opportunity to learn and grow and thrive and learn how to manifest your dreams and visions and using our minds. So I'm always a student, outside of school and in school. So, having that faith and having that, determination to be a young scholar and be scholars in whatever space you're in is a wonderful opportunity. So yeah, just proud and love all of you, even though I can't see you, I can feel the energy of everybody in the space. And I'm just grateful to be here.
Yes, sir. So once again, I want to thank Mr. Kev Choice for sharing with us, for the musical artistry, for the life lessons, for the, you know, just the openness and generosity of spirit, right? We're going to take that with us and learn from it and keep it going. At this time, I want to thank the whole CBSS family, the students, all the faculty members who have helped make this possible, who helped make CBSS possible. I want to encourage us all to cleave more and more together to, when somebody calls, all of us respond so that there's more and more participation in all of the events that we have this semester and going forward. Um, our next event is coming up in 2 weeks on September 23rd. Black Money Matters, a financial workshop with a financial coach from the Congo, brother by the name of Bib Bibene. Don't miss it. We had one installation of Black Money Matters before, and we're going to be talking again about how to make our money work for us. What are specific things that we can do to understand our finances better? Okay, so I want to say thanks again to everybody, to Kev Choice, to the whole CBSS family, and we'll see you again on September 23rd. Thank you very much, and over and out. Good night.
We gonna be here forever, and it feels so good when we do it together. That's how you start a movement. We make progress when we open our minds, open our hearts, open our eyes. We on the front lines for our healing. Hear the sounds of our freedom. It's the movement, movement, movement. Come on. It's the movement. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's the movement.